part of URR, you have trees where you are climbing 500 meters to harvest kaba, to harvest kaba, to harvest kaba.
Mbadiŋolu Yahya Abdul Aziz James Jungun Jammeh Babili Mansa Nasril Dina diamuta kota kede GDC APRC anin Gambia Action Party ila rari dulam yalon ko aketa Brikama sate kono Jammeh ay ñinin karoke Gambia la president bala Gambia banko bela alpha bala president Adama Barrow ako aya fay URR kono basse tundoto kaba jumale bije mi yalon ko atata fo meter kemelulu.
Can you tell me which part of URR you have trees where you are climbing 500 meters to harvest kaba?
Jammeh la ñing questiono ñininka and we hope President Adama Barrow be kala motimi yalon ko abe ñin jabila nal lafta ka tenten kablanno ma pour nala dinka ñin kibaro kono nal la fa kalon Jammeh ay kuma koten juma la fa kotake al tenten kablanno ma Active TV ngana ñin kibaro bonda la ñoto
sama waji nak ya nga bëgg yag ci dëkk bi sa holiday yi gudd na lool sax vacances yi yag na waye dama ni na ñibisi ci sama réew investir wax nga dëgg sa safara man mako yor jóge ñu dem topp ma ci sama waaj da nga bëri pexe de topp ma
xam ngeen Gambia léegi dafa open loolu moo waral global properties jóg jaay la kër doo manqué courant doo manqué ndox da ngay am pool maanaam piscine sa disposition di nga am beach bi sécurité 24 hours te soo bëggee investir aussi nga mën a investir sa réew jënd kër di ko louer hôtel yi na xam baax na waaye nag am na gan yoo xam ni dañoo bëgg bu ñu ñëwee ci réew nekk à l'aise nekk ci bërëb boo xam ne dañu am seen waañ bu ñu bëggee togg seen lekku dëkk dañu am seen salle bu mag am seen néegu bopp am seen lépp loolu yëpp ak global properties mën na nekk.
jërëjëf def leen ni man ñëw leen global properties ngeen jënd seeni kër aar seen ëllëg ak bu seen njaboot.
Are you a resident of France or its surrounding countries and still wondering how to send your packages to the Gambia? Or your properties got lost or have delay anytime you send them? French Touch is here to solve your problem. French Touch sends all kinds of goods except what cannot be fit in container. They don't only stop at sending, but they also sell goods like fridge, mattresses, good quality carpets, furniture and many more.
Inata bullo jora on la karola o fanan kende ma be wiye cimento bije adadi ma na kende ma ñunu man dangali o dambam fanana de ikamoto ki anin ka wafi nin dadi ma fanana ñun tumo tuma yesandiro kenyilma ika wafi ma ko nopal ime batandi dunu sikala ye dokulal so do miliyan ko sobe ata bake ifon le kela bakaso samba fela la bungo kono French Touch fela sabateri ngale kiti sila bala kan gunjur Brikama highway ise ka chanyo ya nino ninyi nombala alkami jeskiri.
Hello wonderful viewers, wonderful subscribers. This is Active TV again for another fast and a quick update. Mbadi ngulu mbalbe tendula mbalbe bismillah la kotake Active TV pour kana kibaro bonda nan kotake mi yalon ko akabo Gambia banko kan adung abedendi. Gambia banko la president kotola anin Gambia banko la president sign teng. Former President Jammeh speaks again, but this time he gave a very long speech in Brikama. Mbadi ngulu Jammeh Gambia banko la president koto aketa moti mi yalon ko adiamu ta kotake bar nyin silo de ala diamo lo jamfata kendeke Jammeh ay Barrow question kanyinin ka URR kono kaba jumale bije mi yalon ko atada fo meter kemelulu a ñininka kotake meter kemelulu kono millimeter jolle bije anata ñininka kotake dunia be kono ay yiri juoje min tole mi yalon ko ay metar keme lulu si nyimbe mo nyinen karolti Jammeh munke president Adama Barrow la his excellency woto Barrow ibe dawo danding esa findi nang e nyinen karol jabi katum a nila former president ye nyinen karola mi yalon ko abe dending bankola kola kadum Barrow be nyin dantela wato munna abe diam kan gamenole woto ni Jammeh findita afana be diam kan gamenole a challenge ka nyinen ka nyim meter kemelulu kabaju de abe min dole bar Barrow fana nyanta kala moti mi yalon ko anyanta nyinen karo nyin anyanta jabi la de mbadi wala ter mi yalon ko abe video jiwe ka albe sonnala ko Barrow molti mi yalon ko anyanta finda nyinen karo jabi jannin carte fa be sila
Which part of it? URR. You have trees where you are climbing 500 meters to harvest kaba.
Mbadi molo. Former president current president nyininka atal mi alko albe video jibe kal comment ali afo nyale mo ne mira nyun koto Gambia banko kan campagne be durin carte fo nga nyati ngala mbedu ala fanse dunga kono kairo kono nga finta kono kairo kono abebe kala kairo ti alsi albe damen ale tenkun ale finde ali alla carte fa kairo kono ale say alla suol kono kairo kono carte be konti la kairo kono andum president be tombona kairo kono tanawta nan ni de Gambia sotola ni mulla faga Gambia malaytele be malala. This is Active TV update.
Absolutely. Habib. Bintu Jiba ila ID card ho bitane talinding lim mo moy fana Bintu Jiba o ibata talinding ala bago fele paral bolu jang yela sumo mo dal ada ale wife
Yes, can they hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن
Fellow
الرحيم.
Gambians, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
His Excellency Sheikh Professor Dr. Yahya Abdul Aziz James Jung Brikama Ngol.
I want to thank you very much for coming in large numbers to welcome the APRC, EDC, GAP, and Independent Alliance.
Mo kello mino ya lonko wole ba Brikama aba falako aba welcome la jang Brikama jang APRC, GDC, GAP, and Independent Alliance.
Fellow Gambians, we should know what is in the best interest of ourselves, our children, our mothers, our wives, in this very crucial election. Let us know or remember what the national anthem said. We should stand for the common good of every Gambian. That being the case, you still live in horror from December 2016 up to today.
Ako ala bali Gambian kul. Bi nyanta jela ko be toro min kono andum fanan komna national anthem ay dulado foje yeni toro min soto kabrin 2016 nyanta jela min taymo Gambia be dula minto abe dula minto mol bebe demring ani be jakarling election kola nyanta lonna na carte ma fayla dula minto.
Well, the interpreter didn't get it correctly.
Yes, sir.
But since it is too late, I want to ask the people of Brikama.
Ako alafita Brikama kol jinin kala.
Because today is historic for me to address Brikama people at a time when the country is going down the drain.
Ako bimu lungole timiya lonko istilem burka Brikama kol jinin ka Gambian kota dumanyami.
Why am I saying it's historic is because in 1994, when I addressed the people of Brikama, I made promises and I swore that I will keep my promises.
Ako bi tarikolem buray jang address Brikama kato 19 wati sotoda ay address kanu Brikama jang anong ayelahi ni nung fewolela.
Hello, Ayon?
Yes, sir.
The people of Brikama, you are the first in the Gambia to be forced to buy water and you refused. And when you came, you made it very clear. We promised you to turn Brikama into a real city with electricity and water and paved roads and a host of other things as well. Both promises, all the promises except one have been completed.
Ako Brikama wato min na itolbela Brikama le nun sate foloti ika jio sangjang wato jio ka wafi Brikama kabring inata ye Brikama kol lahini wallahi dol kono ko ibe Brikama nyafalim nale ka jio nin kurangop sindi Brikama ka silol bete yandi Brikama ako lahi dol kono kilindam male mam futa folo.
Fellow Gambians,
Gambia dingolu.
Only people that are patriotic, development-oriented, Allah-fearing would vote against the system, the coalition government that is there.
Gambia dingol mini yalonko idinata isilata alala ilafita nyimbankola ilafta bankola nyato tala anim bankola yirwa wolte karte fayla nyimmansa kunda e mimbe siri
Can I go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I'm not hearing the interpreter today. I don't know why. So I cannot rectify him. If he says something if he misinterprets, I cannot rectify him.
Sir, our network is very bad now.
My heart goes to the women, boys and girls and children of the Gambia who are suffering, who have been suffering since December 2016 up to today.
Ako abala fata musol nin dindingol nin fonding kewale minu yalon ko ibe koleyata ki kan kabrin 2016 kanabi. Okay, sir.
It hurts me up to today to read a UNICEF report that says that over 50,000 private school going children in the Gambia have dropped out of school in 2021. This is unprecedented.
Ako akita jusukandi bakata walati kabiring amuruta ayakarang UNICEF la report oto kafoko min tambita dindi wili tan lulula mine yalon ko dindi merengol lem primary school ifuntita school katu ila alfal ne sambano ka karamo joye ako minan dam male woke to womu bala fa ku bale. Yes, sir.
But the UNICEF also failed for clear reasons why failed to mention the number of children that have disappeared since 2016, those who are found dead, and those whose bodies have never been found. The number of children that have died, and it is their responsibility not only to report how many children dropped out of school, but how many children lost their life, and no criminal has ever been prosecuted.
Ako UNICEF la responsibility lemnum amanke dama ka fonye yindindingol le bota school oto bari fana dindingol minu yalon ko ifata sangol kono nyin sangol kono dindingol minu fata ani dindingol minu ye mantorol soto nyin criminalol bulu ando imam criminal samba kitiola ani dindingol minu yalon ko yeyele manni imeje woto wobe UNICEF nyanta fola mol yenneno. Yes, sir.
I want to ask the people of Brikama and the people of the Gambia as a whole, do you want every rainy season for your markets to be invaded by worms or maggots? If that is what you want, then you can vote for this coalition government.
Ako abafola abe Gambia musol nyinin kala aning Brikama musol fal laftale koteke sanwo sanni jioketa alla Marcel kafa teb jiola alka torol nim batal sotoje ako momo lafta wala anim tumbol katara Marcel to ako na lafta wala woto aljimman sekunda min besirin alkarte faye.
This coalition government brought nothing but backwardness, crime, drugs, rape, murder, armed robbers, and massive corruption for 5 years now, and no one has ever been prosecuted. And Mr. President says the Gambia should give him clear evidence so that he can prosecute them. And he claimed that he is the most informed person in the country. If that is true, which I doubt, then he is conniving and aiding and abetting and even participating in the massive corruption, the drug dealing, the killing of children, if he is aware of it and is keeping a blind eye.
Ako atafongo jakal tabake katu president o kafu mole neko aka kibaro soto anyamale ni atara aka kibaro soto woto nyindro ko mimbe nyimbankol kan e ka nyapi musol kan ibe mol fala silol kan ibe banko mol be tora kan ibe kolea kuol soto la woto ni atara ko aka information o soto anene mammo samba kitiola woto nyikray mol woto aye kala mutale aman kukeje woto abakela le ko ateni wolle be do kuola kato ako mol si information bondi pour ka itandala ko nyinne keta andum baywo ate ko aka kibarol soto andum ate diamula woto ateni nyinul lebe do kuola. Yes sir.
This is the irony. Ako, he said he built 6,000 classrooms and about 1,000 houses for the teachers, 2,000 toilets. Mr. President, did you build those classrooms and those teacher accommodation on planet Mars? Because I didn't see them in the garden.
Ako abe Barrow nyinin kakan president o nyinin kakan ako ay classroom wili worole lo nyimbanko kan ako ay teradula wili killing le lo tichalie andum fanan ay kuol nimbe konti ko are nyinke nyimbanko le kan President Jammeh ko abe nyim president o nyinin kala fo alaw ayalo sabole kan santoba kadu Gambia dingol maji ayalo daminto abe wala nyinin kaka. Yes sir.
Mr. President, within 3 weeks of your coming into power in the Gambia illegally, because the elections were rigged in your favor, there was no electricity and there was no water throughout the Gambia. And up to today, some communities will not have electricity for a whole week. When during my 22 years of dictatorship, as you call it, Gambian children were very safe, women were proud, education was free, and the competition was so high. And in 2017, you have the worst primary school examination results in the history of the Gambia. And you're still bragging that you built 6,000 classrooms and more than 50,000 primary school children dropping out of school.
Ako,
can you answer this question?
Ako hamisabe president wa nyinin kala. Ako kabiri wona ta nyimbanko kan lokun saba. Jionin kurama manke ta nyimbanko to. Anno hani bi wo mo kurama ni jio manke mo. Wo be continue kanne. Ako ikafoko atala mansa kunda wo wato dictator le wala ikatol kumandala. Bari wo wato karamunto dindi wal ka continue la karamala le free education de caring kuol be beteyari musolto ibuka nyapi mo kan ke fawo nyama bari bitilo kolayani bata nimbe nyimbanko kan woto hadisa be president mo nyinin kala aka sanyo min libako ay school bill ay teacher traditional bill woto be president mo nyinin kala nyindinding ke wulitan lulol bodi jita school nyaadile school bula nyaadile abe woni nin kaka ako fana bula dol beje yimbanko kan namin na ko jay kuramoto.
Why are pregnant young women afraid to go and deliver at government hospitals? And why are they dying like rats there? because there is no electricity. The hospitals have been looted and have been left to rot, and that is why Gambians are afraid of going to the hospitals. All the good doctors, I brought doctors from everywhere, including Syria, specialists. Today, all of them have gone, the Cubans have gone. Do you care for national development? Because if a country is not healthy, there cannot be any meaningful development. No wonder Gambia is going backwards under your leadership.
Ako ninja to Kenya mansoto, bankote tano, ndoatela watu la ay doktorol nati janka bo Syria kata Cuba, bari wolbe seitale, andul lopitano be tembo minto, nyim banko mansakunda, ila sunyaro nin tapalea nin kuruya, ayatina le femmantara lopitano to, fosai musol mini yalonko, ni timo mutai ka fole no longa bori ngata lopitano to, bari sai ke mirale, longa siso kono katu lopitano manko ikoteke. So abem nyinu kala itoliye mineke kabiri inata. Ko hani sai musol ka fatimol to wolbe be kere nyim bankoka. Yes sir.
After today, the electricity and water supplies that the Gambians took for granted, water supply that has earned us the AU prize in 2016, within 1 week of my departure, Gambians were drinking very dirty, unhealthy water, and they have to resort to digging wells or going to people with wells to get water or buy water from people, which has never happened during my 22 years of dictatorship that you call dictatorship.
Ako nyamansa kunda kala mansa kunda kumandi nun tol to wotola amambala mbari abenyi kala sai kabirate bota janlo konkeleng jiomi yalonko na jiola betea fati nanga EU soto jam foye njai bari bi Gambia kol ke min jiomina amambeta anda soto fanan koleata bake Gambia musolbe bori kankata jio nyini dulalto woto nyimmansa kunda Allah ta banko sambala nyaadile sai ka kolongol lesing mbokel ka kolongol lesing puri la musole na jio soto woto nyimmansa kunda minebe kering.
His Excellency, the late Sadauda Karema Jawara, you say you ruled the country for 45 years, but he didn't rule the country for 45 years, maybe 31 years. I ruled the country for 22 years, and our marine resources, our littoral waters were full of fish that every foreign Western country were interested in fishing, and I said no. You will not come and spoil our fish. Take billions and just give us 100,000. We are not going to accept that. And that is why the fishes were so plentiful, including Chalo, that every Gambian took it for granted that anytime they want, they can get fish. Within 1 year, only God knows how many fishing products you are allowed to fish in our water, and today, Gambians are not eating fish. Gambian fish are being used to feed pigs in another country. Pigs. You deprive the Gambians of eating fish in favor of feeding pigs. What type of a leader are you?
Ako Sadauda yenyim banko mara sanyitan saba anin killing amanke sanyitan nani ni lululti Barrow lay ofo bari sanji tan sabanin kilinem ate president Jammeh yenyim banko mara sanji muang anin fula bari wo wato alaye Gambia so min na nyel la nyim bako no banku dol sotuta no minu yalon ko ye interest soto no bake pour kana janye demola bare ay wo bali ay nyeltu Gambianol ye jang fo ayatin na Gambianol wati ni wulita dron e ka fole longata marché to wala ngata futa badala nganye soto bari ñinu la sanji killing surtout chalo famo wo siata non jambake bari sanji killing o kono jel bantale fo Gambianol say pour ka ñesoto akole yata bake andu wo ñel banku doli ye samba pour que la sewol balendu ye Gambia hadama dingol bula jangol buka ñesoto no woto ñimman sakunda mu man sakunda sifaleti abe wo ñinin kakan Your Excellency, sir.
The coalition government sold all public lands, the state lands, including the TDA, the reserve lands that were meant for housing in the future. You sold everything until you ended up selling the Banjul cemetery, where the faint Muslims are buried. Don't you know what RIP means on a grave?
Ako ninu kabiri nata yenna banku keno bele wafi badal to edulal min tununje pour nyato andu eduladol fana mutano mansa kunda to pour nyin kamala na sama jindingol fanansi lori dulal sotono pour housing estate bari wol be wafitale ya wafile fola wala imam wafi dula soto Banjul kaburo itata wala wafi ako abe nyino nyinin kala e ka fo minna RIF rest in peace RIP rest in peace pour nim mo fata ay la jamos beto soto ako fo nyino ma wolom bang abe wala nyinin kaka. Yes sir.
What type of a government that is elected by the people can destroy with impunity everything that is good for the public and the citizens of that country? Plunder every resource and move Gambia into abject poverty for 5 years now. And you still want Gambians to vote for you. You claim that the type of development you made, you carried out in the Gambia, nobody can challenge you. Where's the development?
Ako nyemman sakunda minko molle karte fay isita. Ako itale ko ye karte nyin sunyale no ya tapalaya. Bari ko molle karte fay. Bari mol minu ya karte faye ye wollan alay somina ya beta ya tinya ya pasar ya sunya fo say fem mantara mol bulu hani say ikana muruna wo mol kan ika foyenko ala la karte dinna katunga yirwa minke jang a tara itema yirwa ke ja ye kasaro le ke nyimbanko kan hani say ka fo mole wo mu yirwa le abe wala nyinin kala mun man sakunda le nyinti.
This is to the youth of the Gambia. For 22 years, the youth, the children, the women of the Gambia, boys and girls of the Gambia. For 22 years, I did my best to give you the best education, best health care. And no Gambian went to bed without having 3 decent square meals.
Gambia
today, young children, young girls, are being hired by pedophiles from a country that we know to stay with pedophiles for £2 a day. What an insult. That's a sad thing for the Gambian children.
Ako yinki baro beta funding ke walle kam wato minna abejang ako ay karambung betol dialla ay karanya betol dialla andum fanan kaje ko momo bete lala simamo kontongo da samo iba sutulale abete ma fanan andu atara Gambia musol fanan kata lopitano to manke alla problemoti ay pro lopitan betol dialla ay borol dialla bari bi a mimbe Gambia say wandi banku molle kana ika sunkutundingol luwasi pour ke samba ke wuran ke natali ka wafi wala be nyim banko kan say annun kat
Can I go ahead?
Yes, you can go ahead.
The youth of the Gambia and the youth of Africa, I have defended your stay in Europe. I was the only head of state who was telling the whole world that the genocide against black migrants on European coast must be investigated by the UN Security Council, and I gave a warning. But you were the same youth that in 2016, not all of you, but 90% of you, who were told that Jammeh say if he wins the election, he's going to have all of you deported back to the Gambia. And that you should tell your mothers and parents not to even appear at my rallies, because there are white people with cameras who are filming every participant at my meetings, and if they come, they're going to kill all of you. And you even tell your parents that if they don't vote for the coalition government, the coalition party at that time, you will stop sending them money, because the coalition party, 2016 coalition, promised all Gambian youth free visas to Europe. Within 1 month of their administration, they signed for your deportation to be deported back to the Gambia. So in a sense, when you are being deported, it's visa free. So these people, whatever they tell you they are going to do, you vote them in, they are going to do the opposite of what they told you.
Nying ako nyim man sakunda indingol funding kewol ateda malen nung African president oti wo wato mi yalon ko alota funding kewol ye kaje ko European Union ikana deport andung ikana fereke pour alifa bakono fo ayatina aye samon pour UN resolution pour ya court investigate dindingol ka fa nyamin bakono wobe pour wato pour kal difen bari wo mo kilimol wolle ka farienum ala fo alla dindingol ye minube su e kanata president Jammeh la meeting oto pour ning tata je camera be funtindilale ni yeje aka mol minu difen no Europe nin woliyeje ite kodo kile ite fen kile koteke ye aka munta ye pusi ye borende pour ye jamfa jammela atara wowato atebe wolla interest difen kan bari kabring atebota jang wo man sakunda min nata wo coalition man sakunda mi yalo ikafo wole num tenum ala fay wo coalition man sakunda e wo coalition man sakunda ke promise ko ni sita ibe visa imako ila visa tole visa free ibe sambala Europe le ibe nyinkela bari kabri nata ha visa free ye wokele katu kare kilimo kono yitata deportation o sign Europe sai ka dindingol seydinam wo mu free visa lete sai be dindingol seydi kan janni ando hani sai koy lafta wo dindingol lela woto abe nyinin karo ke kan pour funding kewol nyimman sakunda ka femo fem falie aka munta nya kilimo nyamalem ila kumo buka tonya ya ila ko kol buka tonya ya femo fem mu fanial ti nyimman sakunda kono.
Can I go ahead?
Yes, you can.
They have halted the deportation, but not cancelled the deportations. As soon because they want to do a favor to their man, they put into the Gambia to rob the Gambia and give it to the developed West. This is exactly what he's doing, and that is why all the violence that have been taking place in the Gambia, rape, murder, ritual killings of children and grown-ups have never been reported in any Western media. When I was there, even if a frog died, human rights abuse in the Gambia, Jammeh is a dictator. The same people that formed the coalition government, they are the ones who are saying campaign of smear and their supporters, calling me all sorts of names. But I think today the Gambians know the truth. Yes, there are some elements outside that are saying things about me. Let me make it very clear, Mr. President. I know the loss of the Gambia. I ruled the Gambians with and love and care. That was why the crime rate was down. That was why hundreds of thousands of Gambian children got a decent education, quality education. You call me all sorts of names. A killer, death squads. If anybody has death squad, it is you, your government. People who are prosecuted in the Gambia for killing people for murder, and they were convicted. Some were executed lawfully. You call people to the TRRC and say they are victims. No wonder you let loose hell on the Gambians to the extent that nobody can be assured of a sound sleep at night with his family unless he is part of your cabal. Gambians, so how long do you want to live in this reign of terror and irresponsibility?
Gambia dingol akali amari repurale hakilo tubake katu nyimman sakunda tonyala asonta yakumandi to belela bari bi Gambia dingol yalo mimmu tonyati bari modol suruta halisa minuka kumandi tolla wonten kasiti bari ngajibe minebe caring bi nyin sacrifice ol minebe caring mo fal minu be caring nying kanyapi mol kan kela bumol yele kan zuto bari ye jomale samba kitiola hani bi moman samba kitiola nying kuol mimbe keta nyim banko kan woto abayi tandila ko Gambia dingol nyinam alsal hakilotu nyino min kanal kan katuniya jibe nyim banko wato minna abejang ni tebete lala ikalon ne ko mote nyapile kan suto andum bitilo akwa bali amari la fanan deportation European Union imabula ya mutale demanding pour ka nyimma koy pour mol signala isi carte fayaye katu ya lonne nate sita ilafta mantora wo mantora kala nyimbanko kan iba kenolale katu ni yajibe wato minna atebe jang hani nyino fata wala kake headline oti European newspaper iba fola nyinne ke bari bitilo nyimbanko nyinkuruyal tilimbalia sunyaro kapaleya minketa nyimbanko kan aliyamo ila kibarol to muntole yede yakanne woto wala yatinna siladiala pour ibela kuol keno la janyamin wala yatinna deportation o muta foning election o tambita alama mol tankala wala itol kamira pour na tambita isila kuruya keno koteke bari alala de maroto nyimman sakunda be danna jannato. Your Excellency. Yes, sir.
I know. Just keep quiet. It's 4 a.m. here. Don't you know that?
Yes, sir.
Fellow Gambians, this is a question for you. If you love your children, you love your wife, you want to live in a country where if a child is lost, you look at during my time, you look at GRTS, police station would give an announcement that a child has been lost and is found. Today, if a child is lost, you fear for the worst, and the worst come to reality. You find the child dead, with body parts and their private parts cut off. Up to today, nobody has been prosecuted. If that is what you want to continue, I can tell you, it can only get worse and not better. Secondly, they were bragging that if I left, tourists would flood into the Gambia because they were afraid of Jammeh, the dictator. Let me tell you one thing. The tourists were going along Battle Hardin Highway up to 5 a.m. unescorted, and nobody has ever molested them. But today, even in their hotels, they are not safe. They are killed. And that is why the tourists are not coming. Thousands of women that benefited from the tourism industry and men, craftsmen, lost their jobs, they are jobless, they are poor, their children cannot even go to primary school. In a country that is full of drugs, these children, God forbid, if we don't stop you, they will turn into drug peddlers, for the drug barons, and the country will become a very violent country, God forbid. Let us decide if we love our children, we want them to live and have a good education in a country where health is guaranteed for all people, because now it is only guaranteed for rich people. If you want a country where people are equal and will have quality education, quality healthcare, quality agriculture, quality everything, let us get this government out. It's not a government, it's a gang. And that involves all members of the coalition that form this government. Looting started, the first day they came, they started looting everywhere. If you want the loot to stop peacefully, voting is the most peaceful way to change the government. But if these elections are rigged this time, it will not be like 2016. If the IEC wants to set up the Gambia on fire, just try to rig the elections and you'll see. This time around, we will not be able, even if we run to space, we will pay for it.
Ako Gambia dingol ni lafte dingola wala ilafte la musola wala ilafte la dimbayala woto kanani karte fay nyimman sakundaye kadu ila dindingo nunto atela watola ni ko dindingo filita ne GRTS contact wallahi police station o contact ate mela ibajala ye dindingo bondi tele to ko afele bari bitilo ni ila dindingo yemanta ike mira minna ikata wala taraje ka dindingo fale ye fengol bondi abala jato kono wala ko penjawol te minube kering ako fanan wo wato e ka fa kay ala koleya kuo wala yatinna tori sol buka na nyim banko kan bari kabira bota jang tori nyinu say dulal man koy e ka nyapi tori sol kan halila hotelol to ay wala yatinna tori sol silata kabirin 2016 abota jang Gambia tori sol man nano nyim banko kan katu isilata banko lale katu atala watola musol minu be do ko la Marcel Torres Marcel to kel minu ye bulal soto je firol be kering Torres sol katara silo kam fofano yeke mo bukema bari bitilo silanna ala kol min be kering anu wo ko la nyin dro ko min be siare nyim banko kan dro ko na siata nin dindingol ka ma bake akatinale banko nyin ala taroka koleya bakele ko dindingol ka ila kol ka koleya le ka aggressively aka koleya balle nati dimbayal to woto ne atara ko sai ntolle be mirala lafta e betea wala lafta e jawiya nin laftan na dimbayal la alna nyim man sakunda bondije ne atara lafta nga continue koleya kono woto ngabula nyim man sakunda noma barate be nyim fola ko momo be dum 2016 ko election o kono ibulata nyimantoro konole ibulata funyaro konole ibulata tapale ya konole albele ya fom nyola woto altol bele responsibility ta nying election o fana foje IEC ye manyal minke 2016 ikana katafanka try nyingwato because nyinta anin 2016 ibe fotala le kendeke ning 2016 imari kanata woto nyin silo hanya tray dunta bambu dinkole kono ite kanala woto kana tray fam ababia IEC ya marila wala na karte fay fanan wala betiata ka masakunda ka yele mafen kaduna fi yele mata karte fayola aka kembela dahalati niatra ko IEC aka nyama na masakunda falling kairo kono ani karte fayo kono. Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Mr. President, you didn't answer my first question the last time I asked you questions. Which means you don't know. That means the projects we are talking about, they were completed in your time, but you have no clue as to how they started, and you claim that you built them. I'm not surprised, but my last question for you today is, can you tell me which part of URR you have trees where you are climbing 500 meters to harvest kaba, and you said it with confidence. The follow-up question to this is, how many millimeters can form 500 meters? Tell me where on earth you have trees that are 500 meters high. And the Gambians, you had him. That type of a leader is not a leader but a dealer. So Gambian, the choice is yours. And I want to thank everyone. I want to thank the people of Brikama, the people of Congo, all the Congos. I have never betrayed you. I have never betrayed any Gambian. There was rapid progress. It ended in 2016, December. Now you have seen what happened. And you are still seeing. Since the beginning of the campaign, how many girls aged between 9 years downwards have been kidnapped, disappeared, and they ended up dead with their private parts removed from their body? That is sacrifice, that's ritual killing. This has started from 2017. Nobody has been prosecuted. So vote for him if you want to continue the status quo. And you may end up one day being told that your daughter or your son is found in Nyambai Forest, Salaji Forest, or any forest around the greater Banjul area, or in the gutter, or in the trunk of a dilapidated car. Gambians, if you want to go back to the glory days of 20 APRC government, vote for GDC, APRC, GAP, and independent coalition or alliance. I want to wish you all the best. But each of you, when we go to bed, think of what is going to happen to your children if you commit suicide by voting for this murderous government. I thank you for your attention. I thank you for the warm welcome you give to the APRC GDC Alliance. And I entrust President-in-Waiting Mama Kande to you and the GDC APRC Alliance. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. May the Almighty Allah bless you, protect you, and grant you perfect health, peace, prosperity, and happiness throughout in this world, throughout your life in this world, and grant you all Jannatul Firdaus. This prayer is for all patriotic, development-oriented, dignified, independent, loving Gambians. I love you all. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Abaraka, ay Gambia dingol jay ay tentu. Ay kombankor jay ay altentu. Akonde anene man jikila tey. Gambia ding hani kiliye anene mala jikila tey. Ando ay nyimfoko atuta Gambia no le bolusai ini ila jegenayo le kacha ila kullara mo le kacha kajibe foy lafta tarala toro le kono ila dindingol be filikan ñing election mo manta wato minna dindin jelle fata dindin jelle yemanta e ka tara fari ne carte fay woliye o ibajela le ko sama hanne atara idingo mambulaje sama idingo fanansi bulano wo kono le kato nyikuru yabe continue le bari atabe min fola wala nyinti ko bitilo ayal karafa honorable Mama Kandela alata wolela andum aba momo yamarila ni lafte famola ilafta nyimbankola ye carte fay honorable Mama Kande